Hey guys, welcome to another pickups video. It's been a while since I've uploaded one of these, so quickly now let's get into the pickups. First and foremost, my favorite video game console, the Switch. We have a whole bunch of games for it. Chronicles of the Wolf. This game is pretty dang neat. It's a Castlevania-like, so it is a Metroidvania in that it's not, completely linear. You kind of have your little towns as your hubs, and you go on quests to, defeat evil werewolves and stuff like that. Very cool. Art style is on point. Controls are very responsive. It's a solid game if you like Castlevanias. I recommend this one, and it's a cool addition to the collection. Next up, I caved.
The cave, fraught with dangers and dinos.
And I got the Heretic plus Hexen dual pack, limited run release here. A couple of, very old school boomer shooters. Some of the, first person shooters that came out back in the day from the makers of Doom. I've been playing a lot of Heretic. Haven't dived into Hexen all that much just yet, but Heretic is very enjoyable. It's very, very old school, but I love that sort of shooter. Right up my alley. Been having fun with that release. I think more people like Hexen, so I'm excited to get into that game. From what I checked out briefly, it's very similar to Heretic, but a really cool couple boomer shooters to add to the collection, as those are some of my favorite kinds of games. So, very cool double release here. We do have a couple Dragon Quest games coming up, and this is one of them, the dual release of 1 and 2 in the HD 2D remake sort of style that Square Enix has, kind of like, I guess, invented as of Octopath Traveler days, and they've been building it into many of their releases or re-releases of Dragon Quest in this case. Dragon Quest is a series or a franchise that I haven't really checked out very much at all, and I know they're very important JRPGs, must-haves for the collection. So here it is. I'm excited to one day dive into this turn-based, timeless adventure. So here is parts 1 and 2 remade in that style. And then we have Dragon Quest 7 reimagined. Now, this one is not the HD 2D style. Very much in the name here, reimagined, it kind of uses like a completely different graphical style to retell this, of course, another Dragon Quest classic that I'll check out at some point. But this game looks really neat. Honestly, super pumped to collect these Dragon Quest games and to eventually one day play them. But I know they're very important and you have to play them. So here they are, little by little. On a past episode, I did pick up part 3, the HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest 3. So now I have some mainline games here to play through. Hundreds of hours, I'm sure. Really excited to add Shantae Advance Risky Revolution, a limited run release here. So the interesting story behind this game is that this was originally slated to be a GBA release, Risky Revolution, and it got canceled at some point. So in addition to the full collection of Shantae games, which of course are Shantae Risky's Revenge, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, Shantae Half Genie Hero, Shantae and the Seven Sirens. So those are all the mainline entries in the Shantae franchise. I believe it's pretty much the entire series, every single game that Shantae has released. Very cool. Very cool. Somewhat of a peculiar release, right? Of something that was canceled back in the day and now finally seeing the light of day. So at some point, I will also make it a point to play through all these really, really cool side-scrolling action games. Are they Metroidvanias? I believe so, to an extent they are. Pumpkin Jack. Man, I've been sitting on some of these games for more than a year because I've actually beaten this game. I think more than a year ago at this point. And honestly, a very cute, like 3D platformer, kind of light on the collectathon aspect, but very much an old school 3D platformer type game in which you take control of Pumpkin Jack here, and he does have a sword and some pretty epic boss battles. Actually, I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I'm pretty sure I knocked it out in like a couple different sessions. So it's a short game, but it's pretty addicting. Really good, really solid gameplay. I highly recommend Pumpkin Jack. And again, just kind of a peculiar release here. You don't really see this game. I did order it online. Had to source it from the interwebs. A couple more Switch games. This was a must-have, in my opinion. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. You know, being the beat-em-up connoisseur that I do call myself, I had to add this retro-style beat-em-up into my collection. Developed by Tribute Games, the same who are responsible for Shredder's Revenge, TMNT Shredder's Revenge, and that game was fantastic. Here we have another side-scrolling, pixelated beat-em-up. Very cool. I made it through the arcade mode, if I'm not mistaken, and then there's plenty of collectibles to obtain in this game by way of character skins, some, you know, like lore dumps here and there to collect, but really awesome beat 'em up. Really nicely done. Great production value here and great fanfare. This is a really solid beat 'em up. Last Switch game is a goodie. Neon Inferno, a retro style action shooter, I guess you could call it. Kind of like, I don't want to say Contra-like. I don't want to overgeneralize what the Contra experience is. But if you catch my drift, that's pretty much what this game is. Fantastic soundtrack, by the way. Tight controls, great level of difficulty. This game's sort of gimmick is the ability to shoot characters in the background. By pressing a shoulder button, you kind of have to multitask what's going on in the foreground and things that are shooting at you from the background. So things can get pretty chaotic, and that's kind of where the difficulty stems from in this game. Lots of explosions, but man, it's a really good looking game, a really great sounding game. And still working through this one, actually. I need a few more missions, but it's been pretty challenging. I just gotta grind away at it, but this is a fantastic retro style game for anyone to add to their collection. A couple Switch 2 games. Let's start with Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. So my boy Yoshi here, gets these releases every now and then, and they kind of push the envelope in terms of what the game is actually supposed to be. Now, a lot of the times those games are just traditional side-scrolling Yoshi's Island style of games, such as with like Woolly World, for example, which is a fantastic game. And here you have a much more laid-back experience in that you're more of an observer in this game, or someone that controls Yoshi and kind of sees the different interactions that the storybook pages and the elements within those storybooks, the enemy creatures and, the different environmental puzzles that you encounter. you really gotta think outside the box when trying to complete this game's missions, right? Because you're just kind of given like a storybook page, which is the level, and it's extremely open-ended, so you explore it and stuff. There's no real like finish line that you cross. There's like a little portal at the end that you could spawn out of, but you can take your time to figure out the different interactions and the different objectives that are within each level by just just dragging stuff around and seeing what happens when you trigger certain things. It's kind of an interesting thing. It's a little bit difficult to explain, I guess, because it's not your typical game. I guess it is a typical Yoshi game, since they tend to be a little bit different in these releases, but a very chill game. If you kind of go into this game with an open mind on, this isn't going to be like a hardcore shooter or like extremely difficult game in that it's super challenging. The challenge in this game actually comes from using your brain on how to solve the puzzles in the levels and how to. Yeah, I'm kind of repeating myself. It's just but good game. Good game. Happy to add it to the collection. I love Yoshi, so I had to grab this one. Second and final Switch 2 game is check this thing out. It's Rushing Beat X: Return of Brawl Brothers. So many old school gamers will identify the Brawl Brothers. And for whatever reason, the brothers took a hiatus of upwards of like 2 decades from the gaming world, and I guess this is their return. And I don't know if people should be excited about it or they should just be like, oh, it's this again. But in an effort to try and get some interesting games for my Switch 2 collection, which is very small. That console's been out for a year at this point, and there aren't very many exclusives, or at least not like, console selling exclusives. Just very, very few games for the Switch 2. So whenever there's something unique such as this, and also this is a beat 'em up. It's kind of more of a 3D plane beat 'em up, a brawler, I guess you could call it. That sort of game scratches an itch always for me, so I decided to pick it up. And ooh, man, this game is it's rough. It's rough around the edges. I remember watching like a video impression of it on YouTube before kind of pulling the trigger and buying the game, because I was intrigued, right? It's like, oh, it's the return of an old franchise, and it's kind of like a brawler. Ooh, that sounds great. The guy who shall not be named was reviewing the game, doing like a little first impressions, and I don't know if like his standard for what's a good video game is very low, but like the guy really sold the game. Like he was having a blast playing the first level. Like, oh man, like oh this is whoa, yeah, whoa. And I was like, hey, I could probably have as much fun as this guy. This looks like a good game. I'm gonna purchase it. And I don't regret the purchase. I don't regret it. I think it's kind of unique. I'm sure it could be fun with a second player and kind of enjoying the jank. But yeah, it reminds me of like a Game Mill release. Like, and not to talk bad about Karate Kid: The Saga Continues, but it kind of has that same production value. That's a good game as well. Actually, it might be better than this game, to be completely honest. But anyways, here's the Return of the Brawl Brothers. Maybe a case for celebration here, or not. I do have Super Mario Maker 3DS, and this game kind of has a short story to go along with it. If you've noticed, the game case right here with the glare, we can kind of note it's been dented, almost punctured. So this used to be the former game case for my Super Mario 3D Land game. And long story short, I dropped my phone charger right there, and there's kind of like a void behind here, and it almost punctured it. And when I saw that, I was devastated because that's that's my original copy of 3D Land. So I had to get a replacement case for that game. So I wanted to buy something that was kind of cheap, but at the same time worthwhile. And this is a game that I consider to be kind of like an auxiliary release, in that like it's not a necessary mainline Mario release, or like, there's something better than a Mario Maker 3DS version. It's obviously the original 3D Mario Maker. So I kind of needed to get it because this has some unique missions to it as well, but I wasn't really dying to obtain the game. And that is all to say that Mario Maker 3DS deserves the dented case, and so its original case was sacrificed to the better game, and now I have this game in my collection with kind of like a little ding that embodies how I really feel about this game. So there it is. Cool. Let's do some PS4 games. We got Fashion Police Squad. Kind of an interesting game here. It's a cel-shaded or very highly stylized boomer shooter, we could call it. Just a fast-paced first-person shooter, and this game kind of avoids violence in that you're shooting kind of like a sewing machine style gun, and everyone that you shoot, like they get fashionable, like you save them with fashion. So this game is very spunky, very in your face, flamboyant characters here, but definitely really neat. Some solid gameplay. I think it crashed on me once, which was kind of a bummer, but other than that, I've been playing this game for a couple hours. I definitely need to get back into it, or maybe stream it sometime. A Way Out! This game's been on my radar for a while now. It's one of those cooperative games that, they're best enjoyed with a buddy, I guess online. Like there's no more couch co-op exists, guys, but if you play online, you're these two dudes that are escaping like a maximum security prison, and it's supposed to be a pretty good co-op experience, published or developed rather by Hazelight, which then went on to make the extremely popular It Takes Two, which don't let me get started on that game, which I did not enjoy in the slightest. That game dragged on for way too long. And then Split Fiction is also a thing. That one looks a lot cooler than It Takes Two. But anyways, all kind of like this, all these games are cooperative and are meant to be experienced with the help of someone else. So yeah, pretty interesting. Gravity Rush 2! I bet you a bunch of people forgot this game existed, or didn't even know it existed. Right, the sequel to a game that Sony has kind of neglected, right? This IP just went down the toilet or faded into obscurity. I really don't know much about part 2 other than I had to have it to complete the collection on the PS4. I think the original was only released on PSP, right? And then it got ported to the PS4, so it got remastered, and then this one may have been PS4 exclusive. So there it is. Pretty neat pickup, if you ask me. Got a bunch of PS5 games, but these are all like re-release games. It's like PS5 and just modern consoles nowadays are just like re-release machines. They're port machines, but hey, I'm someone that embraces longevity in games and kind of preserving them. So if there's a better way to experience them other than just the original format, I'll gladly delve into, as of first time, into a game like Beyond Good and Evil on the PS5. I'm sure it performs better here, and this is a critically acclaimed game, which a lot of people have been waiting for a sequel to for many years. Don't know if it's happening. I know it was teased like more than 10 years ago at this point. But this is the 20th anniversary edition. Imagine that. And this game, I think, came out like a year ago or so. Also a limited run release here. I wanna do a series of streams that I play, and I play something like Beyond Good and Evil. Another game that we're gonna pull up here next, and I don't know, something like Shadow Man. I think like all those games kind of released around the same era and kind of have like the same vibes. So Beyond Good and Evil, I want to get into this one. This is Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered. This is the other game I was alluding to just now. Maybe like doing like a stream series of these kind of old school 3D games, right? This is supposed to be what, like an action slasher kind of sort of Zelda-like, 3D Zelda. Maybe I'm completely mistaken. But a franchise that I never got into as a kid. I would always see this dude's face on, gaming related media growing up. So I took a plunge, 2 games in one. Why not? Seems pretty neat. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Oh man, the days of Little Big Planet, I guess they're done. There's a big swath of the population on the internet that wants some sort of revival in Little Big Planet, and kind of the closest they got to that was around the PlayStation 5's release. A game that maybe not a lot of people were asking for in the Sackboy realm. This is a 3D action platformer. I've had some fun with it playing with my wife cooperatively. It's up to 4 players, but just real. This is all. These are all crafted experiences. There's no emphasis on community created content in this game, which was the foundational elements to Little Big Planet in the first place, right? It's all that stuff has been stripped away here, and it's just kind of like a set experience that Sumo Digital or whatever the developer wanted to display here. So levels, some platforming levels with collectibles and that sort of stuff, but no creation. So if you're looking to create stuff, unless there's been some sort of massive patch, or I'm just completely talking out of turn here, you can't create stuff in this level. It's just playing through a story, and it's cool, but that's not what Little Big Planet was ever about, in my opinion. This is just kind of like a spin-off with Sackboy somewhat slapped on it. I mean, the aesthetic is there, right? The whole crafted cutesiness, upbeat whimsy of this game is still intact, but it's different. It's different, definitely different. Signy, all guns blazing. Oh boy, so this game is definitely a neat release. Konami, the publisher here, kind of, caused some panic amongst the collecting community in the gaming sphere, because they said that they would do a singular print run of this game or something, and then never again. But what you have here is a hard as nails bullet hell shooter. I haven't gotten past the first 4 minutes of this game, but the collector in me wanted to add this to my collection, and it's amazing. Like the graphics are really, really good, and the sound is awesome. I wish I didn't suck at shoot 'em ups so that I could experience the rest of the game. But maybe all these sort of games take is some dedication, some patience, time that you want to devote to memorizing patterns and knowing what's coming next to kill you. to get good at, right? So yeah, shoot 'em ups have never really been my thing, but that's not to say that maybe one day I'll really get to enjoy these. And here I have a really, really cool one with kind of a unique sort of, story. So, yeah. Drunken Fist 2, The Zombie Hangover. This is an East Asia Soft release. So I do have part 1 on the PS5, and that game was a real hoot, right? These games are sort of cheap asset flips, and keeping this bad boy sealed because I actually have it downloaded on the PS5. But the first one came with a really funny certificate of authenticity, which we have here. This one I did open. But see, like, this is a certificate of authenticity. I'm not really sure if the second release would have the same, but since I'm keeping it sealed, I guess we'll never know. Or maybe we can look up like a YouTube unboxing. And this game is a little bit more intense in that all the enemies are not like drunken college kids, and you don't play as a homeless dude. You're kind of a biker gang guy. You're one of those guys, and you're beating up zombies and decapitating them with roundhouse kicks, and there's like toxic zombies and that sort of thing. It's actually just it's a good time. It's floppy physics and that sort of stuff. Really goofy game, and I had to have this sort of release in my collection, especially for a game that I really enjoy, such as these. These are silly games sometimes that I really enjoy. You got 2 more PS5 games. Mind's Eye. Check this out. Man, ever since this game came out, something told me to check it out. I knew that it got horrible reviews coming out, and I think it was like a botched release. It was really bad, maybe unplayable with the glitches, crashes, etc. All the modern day inconveniences that come with game releases plagued this title. But it always looked good, like it was a good looking game. And I think that was something, like the only praise that was given to this game at the time of its release. But, fast forward, like a year since its release or so, and it's been patched up into a playable state. And I've been playing this game on my Twitch channel and been having a really good time with it. I am not exaggerating when I say that this game is actually good.
I dare say.
So don't let the old reviews and kind of the initial state in which it released sway you. Now, it's not going to be like the most revolutionary game, but it definitely looks good. It plays good. The story is kind of quirky. It really gave me Binary Domain vibes. And so long as a game can do that, I think it's worth a shot. And this game has pleasantly surprised me. It was one of those games that I knew that even if it was really, really bad, I kind of thought, ooh, Devil's Third was that game. And look at that game now. Right, so this is something that I wanted to add to my collection eventually, and it was like on sale for $30 at Walmart one day, and I was like, this is my perfect chance to get it. And yeah, some of the best $30 I've ever spent. Really good. Mind's Eye. Bravo. Pragmata. This is kind of a recent release. You got the whole BioShock Big Daddy with the little girl guiding, helping you. Astronaut guy, lunar colony, I'm stranded, I need help, android girl help, everyone happy, pretty much. Now the gameplay is, you guys all know, right? This has been such a recent release that I need not say more about the game, but a pretty unique combat style, right? You hack the enemies with the little girl on your back by playing kind of like a game of Snake. And then you take that opening once the robots are hacked to shoot them into smithereens. So really unique. Capcom's been releasing some really good games. This game looked great leading up to its release. I never really got hyped for the initial like reveal trailer, but I did, you know, something told me, yeah, this game, keep an eye out for this game. And surely once it came out, I played it for like 6 hours. I still need to get back into it, but it's good. It's really good, very fluid, very just next gen feeling game, even though the PlayStation's about to be 6 years old this year, which is crazy. But this really feels like a state-of-the-art game. And last but not least, Onimusha: Dawn of Dreams. I believe this Onimusha game completes my the whole Onimusha franchise collection for myself. This is kind of sort of spin-off, more action-oriented. Not really sure, but I knew that I needed it to complete the releases on the PS2. So I have 1 through 3, and then Dawn of Dreams. And now there's, you know, obviously the new Onimusha is going to come out. That demo that I checked out for that game was, you know, it's very Onimusha-like. Very cool. Yeah, so not much else to say about this game. I think it's supposed to be really good. But Onimusha is a solid franchise. So thumbs up there. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for checking out the game pickups. Let me know which one is your favorite one in the comments below. Let me know if you're going to check out Mind's Eye, maybe. I'm telling you, don't sleep on that game. I have a lot more video games to cover, and hopefully I won't be lazy and upload a little bit more frequently, because I do have enough video games for like at least another couple episodes. So if you guys just can bear with me and check out the Twitch streams, I'm very consistent on there. But until next time, guys, I'll catch you very soon. Okay, bye.